my arm. My leg was blown off. My spine was paining. I didn't think I would make it. Choice to join the army was pretty natural. My father was in the army, my grandfather was in the army. It's like a calling, it's like becoming a priest or going celibate. It's something that calls for you some sacrifices. And I chose to do that. It's a chance for you to discover your own personality. It turned me inside out, I was reborn in the sense you explored your own limits, physical, mental, moral. Moral in the sense that many times you're tempted to take a shortcut. Many times you're tempted to cheat in the exams because you had not learned, but then you always knew there was something that is bigger and better. Physical because you never ran 40 kilometers in your life. You never ever knew that you're capable of doing that, climbing 2,475 feet, running up, a small little town boy coming there. You developed an identity with ourselves about how we were part of a team. So the army made a man out of you. It gave you confidence in your own self. As an infantry officer, to go to a city like Bangalore, where Bangalore was in the throes of that IT revolution. For me personally, it was a great therapy because I worked with young children, and I saw myself there, and I'm so proud of Akshay Girish, the officer who just got martyred. What a brave boy. And it was nice to be there early morning, up and running with these kids, making sure they eat well, they were fed well, they dressed well, they talked well. Fundamentally, I wanted to make sure the children were not cramming for examinations and they were prepared to face life. And I'm proud that military school boys always are like that. I've seen that. They're magnanimous and they're never spiteful, vengeful. And that's what good soldiering is about. Every profession needs good people with character. A teacher needs to instill that character in those children. That's why schools play a great role. So when I knocked on the door, an old man came and I could make out from his face that there was something amiss. That guy wouldn't open the door. And then I kicked the door open. I was still not prepared for a volley of fire. I had not even cocked my weapon. The whole platoon gathered there. Finally the militants surrendered. There was this cross attachment and I was lucky because I heard two of my good friends were serving in the unit in 8 Guards and I chose to go there. 8 Guards was deployed in the Northeast. And Northeast is the back of beyond for many of us here, but it is one of the most beautiful places that India has. It's so green, rivers and valleys, and the people are so nice. And I really wanted to serve there, and counter-insurgency operations was at its peak, and I volunteered to go and serve there. For the first time, from a city boy, from a small town, comfortable house, National Defence Academy, yeah, you were prepared for all that, but you were not prepared for what you saw there. Villages burned down, in that Kuki-Naga clashes. Young children slashed, in the name of religion or region or tribe or whatever. You're never prepared for those kind of horrors of humanity. You believed in certain ideals and values and everything, and suddenly you see the other side of humanity. And I got this information from my CO that there's a group of insurgents planning to blow up a river, and I was tasked with the mission to locate them, hunt them down and capture them. We took a diversion and went there and surprised the villagers and reached there at around 3 o'clock. And as blessings of God, there was a small little church. And we soldiers have no religion. We believe in all gods and all religions. So I went up to the church and I said, God, I've come here. I believe there's some problem here and I want your protection, not to harm this village. I didn't think I would have survived. Even if I reached the hospital, I'd lost a lot of blood from my chest and my arm. My leg was blown off. My spine was paining. I didn't think I would make it. When they surrendered without arms and having surrendered, there's no way you can actually shoot a man who surrendered. Now he surrendered to your might, and now it is your magnanimity to show what is the right way. I really didn't want to perpetuate that violence in the sense, what was evil should have died with me. And that's the reason why when I saw that young children and the militant who had surrendered, I really didn't want to, continue that evil that is going around there, seeing and taking an eye for an eye. I, as a soldier, have a liability that I may have to give my life for my country. It's a known fact. But nowhere can I transfer this liability onto a young child in whose compound the fight took place. And I'm so glad, because that shows humanity has no language, no tribe, no religion, no region. Today, those people were surprised that I would do something like this, and they've adopted me as a member of their own family. They call me back. Good karma does pay. They honored me, and they love me as their own family. So if there's something evil, it had to end with me. And if there's something good, even at the cost of my life, I wanted it to come out of that. It's never an us versus them thing. They are our own people, and we're working, and we may be armed, but definitely the only holy book that a soldier knows is the Constitution of India. All that you need to defend, and it's one of the thing about this Indian Constitution is no life is insignificant, and that's what inspires an Indian soldier. So we were never trained to see them as, others. We are disillusioned about something. How do we get them to mainstream? It was a tearful reunion. I met the mother, went and saw the place where the rounds were fired and everything. It was nice. And I realized even in these intervening period from 94 to 2010, nothing had changed in that place. It was like time had stood still. The roads were still so bad. The village was still inaccessible. And then I felt the need to do something, These conditions is what breeds insurgency and this feeling of neglect. This is as old as human history. Even before our time, go back to 5,000 years. The Bhagavad Gita is about that, isn't it? It's about human conflict. Our history is written like it's as recently as the last century. We had the Europeans killing each other. They're all from the same religion and everything, but they killed each other. So it's not something that is unique to that place. It's there. Human conflict is part of our growing, and that's how we grow as a civilization. It's as old as in time that even before we've seen, and time beyond what we are going to see, it's going to be there. So I was a young, boy who was in awe of everything that was around me, and suddenly here you come close to losing your life and taking someone else's life. Earlier I was very ambitious. I was wanted to do well in my courses and do well in the army and become a general, and I realized that all those really don't matter. In the end of it, it's not the rank that you attain or the gradings that you get. There's no amount of money that you make is ever going to be remembered, in the sense, there's so many people who've gone. But what will remain forever is a good deed in the hearts of people. There what you can etch out. I'm Colonel D.P.K Pillay, commissioned in 4 Guards, one of the finest battalions of the Indian Army. I served with 8 Guards for that period when I was in Manipur. So it's all of 30 years that I've finished in the army and be retiring very soon. If you ask me what did I earn while I was in the army, there's nothing much, in terms of money, but if you look at the respect that I've earned, not only of the men I led, but the officers, and my colleagues and also of my own countrymen, I don't think any other profession could have given this kind of an opportunity for me to earn this respect. And if you ask me what's my message to my countrymen, I think most important is for us to remember that we are blessed to be in this country, to be born in this country. I don't think any other country in the whole world has the kind of history and heritage and culture that we have. We have a distinct connection to our past and we have a very clear future. We must remember that all the freedom and liberty that we enjoy here has not been gifted to us. It has been earned with the blood, not only of our freedom fighters and our people in the past, but it has been upheld and defended every time over the last 70 years since our independence by people, by soldiers, by policemen, by professionals who serve this country. You can serve your country, you can be a good Indian if you are honest, hardworking, responsible and devoted to your duty. Do it right without any fear or favor, without any biases, sincerely and honestly. Love for your country, first and foremost.